Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a really dramatic political breakdown in the Philippines. We're going deep into the intelligence reports on these alleged destabilization threats against President Marcos Jr.
Right, and these threats are reportedly coming from the DDS, the Duterte diehard supporters, as of what, late 2025?
Exactly.
What's really striking here is the scale. I mean, this isn't just routine political opposition. The sources we've seen are framing this as an existential struggle.
An existential struggle between two dynasties.
Yeah, that Unite Team alliance from the 2022 election, it's not just cracked, it has completely collapsed. This is a zero-sum game now.
So our mission today is to unpack what exactly triggered this. How did a coalition turn into, well, open warfare? And what does this threat environment actually look like for the government? So the root cause seems to be fundamentally about geopolitics. It wasn't just a personality clash.
Not at all. It was policy. You had Marcos making this huge pivot back to the traditional U.S. alliance.
We saw that with the expanded EDSA sites, the more assertive naval patrols.
Mm-hmm. And that just flew in the face of the Duterte faction's entire approach to China, which was much more, let's say, non-confrontational.
So that's the strategic backdrop. But what was the operational trigger? The thing that really lit the fuse?
It came down to money and power, of course. The House of Representatives made a decision to strip $650 million in confidential and intelligence funds.
From the Vice President's office and the Department of Education.
Exactly. And for the Duterte camp, that wasn't just a budget cut. That was a declaration of war. It basically defunded their entire political machinery.
Wow. Okay, so that's the trigger. Let's get into the mechanics of the alleged destabilization plot. It sounds like a coordinated effort.
It does. The reports point to military agitation, sedition, and, of course, financed operations.
And the government seems to be taking it very seriously. The Presidential Communications Office confirmed the military is actively validating that so-called Tolfo list of coup plotters.
Right, and you can see two main prongs to this strategy. First, the financial side. There are allegations that $125 million from those confidential funds were, diverted to bankroll these activities.
Then the second prong is military.
Yes, the withdrawal of support strategy. General Bronner, the chief of staff, even went on the record. He confirmed that retired generals are trying to infiltrate the active ranks to agitate officers from within.
And at the same time, they're waging an information war. A delegitimization campaign.
Oh, absolutely. The Paul Veron video was the centerpiece of that.
That was the deepfake video, right? Purportedly showing President Marcos using cocaine.
Yeah, and the DDS ecosystem just amplified it aggressively even after the NBI's own forensic analysis came out and said, this is a total fabrication. The goal was to paint him as morally unfit to lead.
So how did the Marcos administration fight back?
Their response was, it was scorched earth. First, they went for impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte.
But the Supreme Court stalled that, didn't it?
It did. The Senate trial is on hold until early 2026, so she's sort of left in this politically damaged zombie state. But the real nuclear option...
The International Criminal Court.
Exactly. The administration completely pivoted. Now the DOJ is obliged to honor an Interpol red notice for the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Which forces the entire Duterte clan to switch from political maneuvering to just... legal survival.
But Marcos has his own massive vulnerability.
The Zaldico corruption allegations.
$100 billion in flood control insertions, alleged kickbacks. It was so damaging that Speaker Romualdez, a key Marcos ally, had to resign. It just shattered public trust.
And you can see that in the numbers. Late 2025 surveys show Marcos's trust rating just plummeting to 32%.
And yet, Sara Duterte's rating is holding at 50%. It suggests her narrative, that she's a political victim, is actually resonating with a lot of people despite all the legal trouble.
So where does that leave us? The plot seems real, it seems well-financed, but the military's chain of command is, for now, holding.
It is. The real crisis for President Marcos now is whether he can survive the corruption issue and regain public trust.
That seems to be the crux of it.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, everything depends on the president keeping the loyalty of the uniformed services. Which raises a really worrying question for you to think about. With all this violent rhetoric, is the immediate danger less of an organized coup and more of localized stochastic violence just paralyzing the country?
That's a sobering thought. And here's one final thing for you to explore. The administration is trying to frame this whole DDS plot as being linked to foreign interference, specifically that the Dutertes are proxies for Beijing. How effective do you think that'll be? Linking a very personal domestic feud to a huge geopolitical threat to try and rally support.